Welcome to the Careers by Jenn podcast, episode 158. On this episode of the podcast, Jenn covers the subject of how to make yourself indispensable at work. Here's my tip. If your office has locked restrooms, keep the keys at your desk.
Hello, this is Jenn Swanson with the Careers by Jenn podcast, where we help you to get the job, to love your work, and to advance your career. Well, my voice is a lot better than it was. It's still not perfect, as you can tell, but I'm feeling a lot better now. And wow, is this a long cold? This is quite something. There are lots of sick people out there. It's the season for flu and colds here in Canada, and it sounds like it's a very active season indeed, because everyone I know has been touched by this in one way or another. Thank you to all of those of you who sent me notes and get well wishes and reached out this week. I really appreciate your kind words. It really boosted my spirit when I was feeling particularly rough. So thank you very much. And I want to thank in particular Yvonne Wu, who sent me a note through the Careers by Jenn Facebook page. And she just made my day. So thank you so much to all of you who have said nice things and well wishes. That was great. I wanted to let you know that our very comprehensive How to Ace a Job Interview When You Haven't Interviewed in a Long Time course is open for registration here at Careers by Jenn. It is on the courses page underneath training resources. And you can take the course on its own, or you can purchase it in a bundle along with the Resume Secrets course and save a little bit of money. So if you are facing an interview in the next few months, or you're thinking of a career transition, then check it out. Everything you need to ace your job interview is there. So today's topic is how to make yourself indispensable at work. Well, there are lots of reasons why you might want to feel indispensable, and that is not the same thing as being irreplaceable. Everyone can be replaced. Indispensable means people count on you. You do things in a way that boosts productivity, that makes life easier for your team. Your contribution is such that you matter daily. And there are lots of reasons why you might want to be indispensable, including the top two, which are job security and advancement. If you have hopes and dreams of moving forward in your organization, of being offered more opportunities, then this is for you. Another big reason is job satisfaction. The more invested you are in the work that you are doing, no matter what that work is, the more satisfaction you can potentially get out of it. The more you will be appreciated, the more you will be noticed. So there's lots of wins as to why making yourself indispensable, or working toward making yourself indispensable, is a good project to take on for 2018. I tell a story in my book, What They See, How to Stand Out and Shine in Your New Job, about a woman who is the sandwich making person at a training institute that we've got here in British Columbia, where many of our first responders train. And that's where I took my certification in conflict coaching, was at this institution a few years ago. And I remember distinctly the care and the attention with which this woman made sandwiches in the cafeteria each day, and how people lined up for a long time just to wait. And she would smile at each person, and she would make this beautiful, perfect sandwich with care and kindness. And I regret that I never did learn her name, but her work has stayed with me. And you might be thinking, it was a sandwich, like whatever. But my point is, it doesn't matter what it is you are doing. This woman was memorable. She took her job to be more than just about making sandwiches. She connected with every single person that came through her line. She gave them a beautiful smile. She asked them about their day. She made them feel special. And she made something special just for them. And it was more about the connection and the kindness and that humanity. And I actually heard this week that she's still there and she's still doing her job with the utmost of care. So again, it doesn't matter what role you have. It doesn't matter what kind of work you are doing. You can do it in such a way that will matter. I have 17 things that you can do, 17 ways that you can become indispensable in the workplace. So we're going to jump into those. That's quite a few. And I'm hoping my voice holds out here. And if I have to stop and cough and edit that out, I will. But let's begin. Number 1 is to be committed to yourself, to your own set of standards, to your team, to your work. Work for the satisfaction of doing a great job, not to get credit or to get a pat on the back. I mean, you might get those things, but that's not the reason to be committed. Be committed for the sake of doing a great job. Commit to improving and doing better every single day. You can even set small goals for yourself. Be committed to be all in whatever it is that you are doing. That's the first thing. Second thing is to be a team player. Now, I know I've said that that's a cliche before, but what I mean is work at being a great part of your team, a valuable part. And this involves being giving to others and communicating well. And it also involves being sure that you understand your own boundaries and your own role within that team so that you don't get taken advantage of and so that you don't overstep your bounds and do the work of other people. Make sure you're doing your own work, but that you're doing it in conjunction with others as a very good team player. The third thing is to be flexible. If you can use your critical thinking skills, if you can find creative solutions when problems arise, then you will become indispensable. An open, go with the flow attitude will be invaluable, especially if you're working in a high-paced, fast-paced, busy environment where lots of stuff happens and where you have to think on your feet. That will really be helpful. And again, any kind of a job that will be useful in is being flexible. The fourth thing is to build relationships, nurture relationships in the workplace in genuine ways. I remember working in the hospital and having all sorts of connections with people in other departments that made working through a crisis much more bearable because I could call the other department and get what I needed in a hurry because I knew the person at the other end of the phone and they knew me. So, friends in high and low places. I used to say, the people, the most important people in the building were the ones that worked in the basement. And I believe that in many ways, keeping the whole plant going. And we couldn't function without them. And so I having those connections and the relationships made all the difference as to how well I did my own work, is when you had relationship with other people, so that the whole, your team is not just the people that you work with immediately around you. It could be the whole entire organization could be seen as a team. And if you've got connections with people in different departments, you're going to be known, and you're going to be more well respected than if you just stay in your own little corner and don't reach out. So relationship building is big. The fifth thing is to focus on productivity rather than speed. Focus on quality work. Now, sometimes you have to be fast too, but being productive doesn't necessarily mean being fast. It doesn't mean volume or speed. It could have to do more with quality in some circumstances. So focus on being productive, whatever that means in its best sense, rather than being super fast. Think about quality. Number 6 is keep your word. Do what you say that you will do when you say you will do it. And if for some reason you can't keep that word, offer apology or justification and a new timeline as when you can get done what you say you will get done. So if an order can't be filled that you've promised, then, tell somebody, communication. Let people know. I am far less upset if If somebody doesn't meet my deadline or meet my expectation, I am far less upset about it if I know well in advance that that's the case, and if I also know when they will meet the deadline and when it will get done, rather than finding out at the last second that it's not going to happen. So again, communication. The seventh thing is learn a new language. And I don't necessarily mean linguistically, although that would be quite a feat if you're working in an intercultural organization where having another language would be an asset and would be really helpful. That would be fantastic if you could do that. But I mean, if there is a new system introduced, learn that language, how to work that new system, or if there's a new procedure, or if there's a new computer program, then learn how to use that language and become an expert in it. You can do that in such a way that you could even become the trainer, train other people, offer to teach others, or help others get through learning the new language of the new system. That can help you to be indispensable. I know somebody again, I use the hospital system because there were a lot of changes there when I worked there over the 23 years I worked there. And I know someone who learned how to use the new computer system so well that she ended up training everyone else in the building on how to use it, and left her own role for quite some time and was busy in the training room teaching people how to do it, because she became the one who learned that language the first and the fastest and the best, and she was truly indispensable. So learning a new language is a good thing. Number 8, become excellent at a particular skill, and this follows on the last item. Choose something that you do and become amazing at it. Learn all that you can about that one thing and be the best at it, and not in a bragging kind of I'm the king of the castle kind of way, but in a way that you become the go-to person for that skill. Number 9, set high standards for yourself and meet them. Set high standards for yourself and meet those standards. Number 10, go the extra mile for people. Now, without compromising yourself or being taken advantage of, do for other people. Help where you can. This will go a long way also toward building those relationships. If somebody doesn't understand something and you can take 5 minutes and help them and make their life a whole lot easier, they will respect and appreciate you for that. So go the extra mile for people within reason, right? Within your role boundary, within what's ethical, and without compromising yourself or the work that you have to get done. Number 11 is to do work that matters. And again, this concept is less about what it is you do, but it's about how you do it. Making amazing sandwiches wasn't the point. Of course, people had to be fed. It was lunchtime. This was, in the cafeteria. It was important. But it was the care and the attention and the kindness with which she did it. And that is what mattered. That is why people line up for a long time to get a sandwich made by this person. Not because of the sandwich, but because of who the maker of it is and how she is. And I have another similar story in my book about a local man who lives in the town that I live in who sells hot dogs. It's who he is that matters and how he does his work, not so much that he sells hot dogs and soda pop to people outside of a grocery store. Now, this guy was unwell for a time back earlier this year, and oh my goodness, his little hot dog shack was all boarded up or closed up, and the outpouring of love and the notes and the flowers and the balloons that just plastered his little shack were evidence to the fact that it's not anything to do about the fact that this guy sells hot dogs. It's about who he is and the relationships he builds and the community icon that he is and the connections that he makes with people and how valued he is as a human being. And it's not that, the world would fall apart if that particular grocery store didn't sell hot dogs anymore. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with who he is as a human being. And so that's what I mean by work that matters. Number 12 is have a positive attitude. Negative people are not indispensable. If you are challenged in this area, if you find yourself tending toward the negative, then you have a goal to work towards this year. A positive attitude is one of those invaluable attributes that is highly desired in an employee. So don't underestimate the value of a positive attitude. And again, you can take one of these multiple things and just work on that for a little while and see if you can make some progress in one area, if that's an area that you're struggling with. Number 13 is never stop learning. You may have been doing your job for 15 years, but that doesn't mean that you can sit back and coast. We all know people who coast, and there isn't a lot of respect there. You know, the indispensable ones are the ones who keep learning and progressing and who can move with the times and learn new things. Develop the lifelong learning attitude and you won't get left behind. Instead, you'll be current all the time, and it's great for your brain too. The ones who are indispensable have maybe all those years of expertise and experience, but are able to keep moving forward. So don't ever stop learning. Number 14, appreciate others and give them credit. Gratitude for others who work with you is huge, and so is giving credit when and where it's due. Thanking people for the contributions they make and thanking them for how they do what they do is helpful and can really make a difference in how you are perceived if you are showing gratitude and appreciation for those who are helping you along your way. Number 15 is make other people's jobs easier. If you do your job really well, then other people begin to rely on that and they stop worrying or wondering. So trust is built, and people then know that if you say you'll do something, you will, and you'll do it well, which makes their work even easier. You know, when I'm working with someone and I can ask them to do something and walk away and not worry whether or not they're actually going to follow through, and not worry if they know what they're doing, etc. And it's just so much easier for me if I can rely and count on the fact that that person's going to do what they said they were going to do, and I won't have to remind them about it. This is what I loved about my role as a hospital, well, there's many names, nursing unit clerk, hospital unit assistant, hospital unit clerk, unit coordinator. There's lots of names for the role that I did in the hospital for all those years. And what I loved about it was I loved making the work of the doctors and the nurses easier, because that's what my job was. If I did a great job, if I anticipated what was needed before I had to be asked, if I was super efficient and friendly and helpful, then everything went more smoothly for everyone. It was incredibly satisfying to be able to be part of a team in that way and to help people do what they needed to do. Because ultimately, the work that I did, if I did it properly, efficiently, and helpfully, then the patient would get their care faster from the people that were doing the frontline caregiving. Number 16, be innovative. You've got a brain and you've got skills, and you can use those to think and to get creative when you need to. How can you improve things and make things easier for others through innovation? How can you do things more efficiently? How can you be more productive and further the goals of the team or of the entire company? Now, this be innovative has to be used within reason, of course, but anyone can innovate. So why not you? The last one is to empower others. If you are in any kind of a supervisory role or a role where you're looking after a team, a management role, you will earn respect and you can get on with other things when you empower others. Help others to grow and to learn and to use their own skill set and their own innovation and critical thinking rather than micromanaging them. Everyone will feel better about the work that they're doing, and you will be seen as someone who grows leaders. And that's what I do in everything I do, in the work that I do online at Careers by Jenn, and the work that I do in ministry, actually, is to grow leaders, to help other people step into their skills and their gifts and their talents to be able to do things that maybe they thought they couldn't do in the first place. It involves encouragement. It involves support. It involves some teaching and some training sometimes. But I absolutely love watching other people succeed and to shine. And so that's what I do in everything that I do. And if you're in some kind of a role where you can empower other people, then my goodness, what a wonderful thing that is to be able to do. So empowering others is a wonderful skill and a wonderful way to be. So those are 17 ways to make yourself indispensable at work. Start with 1 or 2. And master those, and then move on. And there might be things in this list that you already do brilliantly that you don't need to work on. But I'm guessing that out of all 17 of those things, there are probably a few things that you can brush up on or learn to do more efficiently or to embrace. So take a look at those. And if you have more than 17, you have more things that you think help somebody to be indispensable, then add that to our list. Fire me off a note at careersbyjen.com and add that in the comment section on the blog, and let us know what other things would help. You can come over to the Facebook page and tell me at Careers by Jen, the Facebook page, but let us know if you've got something else. All right, so thanks for tuning in. And again, if you need help and some solid information to prepare you for your next job interview, the How to Ace a Job Interview course is now open, ready for registration. So check that out and share it with anyone that you know who could use it. I've had great feedback, great success from people going through that program and getting really fully prepared for their next interview. So I would love to get the word out on that. Until next time, thank you for spending time with me. This is Jenn Swanson inviting you to be the best that you can be.